Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackert,
And I'm Leonka Reina.
and this is the Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today, we're talking with Ambujam Rose, who is one of my personal favorites, as you know, if you've been around. She is somebody who truly embraces psychic embodiment day in, day out. She is somebody who embodies being grounded here on earth, yet reads everything psychically too. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. Every single call we have with her, I just feel
Yeah.
like she grows spiritually and consciously in so many ways. So it's really a joy when she can show up to join us because she's changed my life personally. So thank you.
Welcome, Ambujam. How are you doing
Hi,
today, first off?
everybody. So good.
Well, we're
Well, that
loving
feels
that.
juicy just you saying
Yeah. Yeah.
that. Wow.
So, where do you guys want to start?
Oh my gosh, this is so
I have
exciting.
so many
Well, go
things.
ahead.
What One other thing, it's kind of interesting because we throw these words around in consciousness and spirituality. And one of the words we throw around so much is embodiment. And I feel like it is so, so important. I feel like that is really what you stand for.
Mm.
Mm.
Could you start there and really take us in with embodiment and really what it means to us as conscious beings?
Mhm. So, without kindergarten, we can't do our PhD, right? Can't just skip to PhD. You got to do the kindergarten first grade, second grade. You build this foundation, right? So, as things just keep going higher and higher and higher, and all the energies and all the gateways and all the yada yada yadas, right? That we talk about and have labels for and all the things. At the end of the day, if we don't have our kindergarten, if we don't have our foundation, if we don't have the roots of our tree fed and nurtured and cultivated and rooted, the leaves of our tree will die. And the wind will blow around and leaves will drop, branches will break. And so as things just keep going and going and going and going, and it's not going to stop, this is it for the rest of our lives, it's just going to keep heightening and heightening and heightening. We must have the roots of our tree rooted, fed, nurtured, cultivated over and over and over and over. So as the wind blows, aka our awakening, our healing, the intensity, what's going on in the world, as all these things are happening, we keep coming back. We have to have that anchor. We have to have our roots, right? So no matter what shifts we go through, the only constant that is always, always, always here is ourselves, is who and what we really are. And without that foundational, energetic beingness, and it doesn't mean we aren't triggered, it doesn't mean all the things that we think it should. Without the constant practice of rooting in who we are over and over and over, because the truth of who we are keeps blossoming and blossoming and blossoming, like how we feel about ourselves today is completely different than 5 minutes ago. And so we have to have that anchor to constantly come back to. So when all of these energies are happening, we can actually receive them from our bodies, from our nervous system, from who and what we really are. So, on a certain level, as things keep going, we actually keep simplifying. So, as an example, years and years and years and years ago versus how we feel today, if you just look at your journey, even though things are intense and challenging and all the things that we're healing and everything that's up 24/7, if you look at your journey overall, what is really important to you today versus 10 years ago, 20 years ago? What is it that you keep really, really wanting and coming back to? And it truly just keeps simplifying. Like, we don't want the drama or the noise. It's just what's truly important to us is being who we are and being in that freedom, right? At the end of the day, it's what we're all looking for. No matter how complicated things get or how sophisticated things get, we're looking to be home in ourselves. We're looking to be free,
I
to
love that.
experience our freedom, right? So
Mhm.
I like just kind of bringing it back to the kindergarten, to the simplicity of wait, who am I and how do I navigate the storm? I have to have a boat, right? So that's what I want to say for now.
I love that you started off this whole summit that way because I think oftentimes when we get into this work, it does become like, wait, but I'm conscious. And then we try to actually put a facade of consciousness in front of us instead of actually going back to the kindergarten version of us that we really just need to follow the journey, let the destiny find us, and be
Mm.
courageous enough to let the destiny find us. What would you say you find that you have to work on people to get them to unveil what their destiny is calling them to be?
They have to know thyself. They have to come into their heart, into their being. Know. I'm so glad you asked that question because it leads me to something that I wanted to talk about. More and more and more and more and more these days, we're actually realizing basically 90% of the stuff that we feel all day isn't even who we are. It's programming, it's somebody else's energy, it's some other freaking energy, right? We're like, wait a minute, that's not even me, right? So to know the purpose of your life in this moment, you have to know yourself. Because without that, what do you have? You got nothing.
Mhm.
So it's the fear, it's the past life stuff, it's the traumas that make it so scary to want to dig that deep and surrender that deep and trust our destiny to, like you said, find us. We have to trust, and we're scared. We're scared
Mhm.
life's not going to give us what we want. We're scared we've been praying and asking and intentioning and clearing, and yet nothing's changing, right? All the things that we experience, and yet in the face of all that, the only thing that will actually bring us everything we need is our foundational know thyself, you
Mhm.
know. So what people need to do to quote be their purpose, in answer to your question, is know yourself so deeply, again, who you are and who you're not, who you are and what you're not. This is my energy, that is not my energy. When you keep practicing that, then you can actually meet your pure fears, your pure traumas, your pure childhood stuff, because the truth of our like true emotion is it's clean, it's pure. There's actually like this beautifulness to it, this nurturing quality to it, that when you know, okay, that energy is not me, that frequency is not me, let me get back to like what actually is mine. What is my emotions, for God's sake? What is my
Right.
energy? Not all the and it's just going to get more that way, right? The outside energy. And so when we can really be like, okay, Why, when I come into myself to know my purpose, to know who I am, I keep going elsewhere? I keep being distracted. Why do I go there? Why, when I go into myself, I just feel tired or like I want to go run away, or I feel like again, it's like coming back to the basics is needed more than ever because the energy is so intense.
Mhm.
So everyone at in our bodies, we have cellular memory and we have this life stuff and we have our soul history. And what keeps us from just being is we're freaking scared. We're hurt, we're betrayed, we feel abandoned. We've had a history that needs nurturing and kindness and being held and being met. So every time we just kind of come in and something contracts or we feel anything but being in ourselves and like we're okay, I've got my center, I got my roots. Well, what is that that keeps us from doing that? And
Mhm.
so overall, it's fear, it's trauma, it's I'm not going to be met, life's not going to give me what I need, right?
Worthiness. Yeah, all those root things,
Worthiness.
not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like on this quote energetic spiritual level, worthiness and not good enough, the on an energetic level, okay, if you look at energy, we've all, I'm just going to talk about this life. We've all been born into 3D consciousness. What is 3D consciousness, to simplify it? It is mind, it is control, it is effort, it is lack. I'm not enough, and it is separation.
I was gonna say
I'm,
duality.
yep, it's duality. And there's nothing like when you just look at duality without the fear of separation, duality is great. Like
Right.
there's a you and there's a me and there's this
Right.
camera and there's all of us, right?
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
It's that I'm separate and I'm left and I'm
Mm.
abandoned that creates the pain, right?
Hmm.
So let's say we're all this flower and our roots have been in 3D energy. It's lack, it's doubt, it's fear, it's
Mm.
control, it's I need to extract because I don't have enough and I have this hole inside of me that will never be filled because I feel completely separate from God, source, angels, cosmic universe, and who I am. I'm separate. All I have is my mind to figure things out and lead me through this life, right? It's a very specific vibe. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just what it is. Okay. Then we woke up. Okay. At some point, we all had our initial awakening that we're embodying now, right? We woke up, and yet our roots were still in 3D energy, right? So we're having our awakening, and we're like embodying and healing and doing all the things. And energetically, we've still been in this lack, this doubt, this fear, this consciousness, this frequency that we've been identified in forever, for at least this life, right? I am doubt, I am fear, I am lack, right? We don't have a separate, like we don't have space. We just feel that way, right? This past March in 2025 is when I saw it really shift in the last eclipse in March. What I saw psychically is the last eclipse in March created this huge, this opening of of quantum evolution. I don't even have a word for it. Okay, that those that are ready, and when I mean ready, I'm not talking about a judgment thing. It's an energetic. You have to be able to embody it. Okay, those that are ready are leaving their little roots of our flowers. We're leaving 3D energy because we're ready. We can embody leaving, completing, being done. We're leaving it and rooting into 5D and up. What is 5D and up? To simplify it, love, heart. No control, no agenda, no little separate me that's trying to figure everything out, although we still, of course, feel that way, right? But if you kind of blur your eyes, 5D and up is very different than 3D, right? So our entire bodies are completely shifting their energy because we're uprooting ourselves from 3D to plant into 5D. And it's not like a black or white situation. It's a journey, right? We're journeying away from fear-based roots, fear-based soil, right? So, and when I say those are that are ready, it's not a better than, less than, or anything like that. Our human bodies need to be able to embody the letting go and the moving into love. It's there for all, but the nervous system has to be able to do it, right? To
Yeah,
hold
it's a
it.
good point.
So
Hmm.
those of us that have been working it and healing and all these things, we're more ripe. Our systems feel safe inside to let go, right? Because it's a safety thing, let's say, right? We feel safe inside to be like, wow, here comes that lack again. I'm actually not that. Here comes that need to control again. Whoa, I'm actually not that. We've done the quote work to ripen our consciousness enough to start recognizing just our own tendencies and our own fears and wait, I'm not actually lack. It doesn't mean, however, somebody who quote hasn't done the work is grace is not uprooting and bringing them to 5D either, right? We can't know that, right? So it's not, that's why I have to be careful when I describe this.
I was wondering that.
So everyone is going, let's
Yeah.
say everyone can do it, but it's their nervous system, it's their consciousness and their energy that needs to be able to recognize and hold it and become and align
Wow.
to live from it, right?
Right.
And it's not, again, so and so is, the mind can look and judge and be like, oh, no way, they're not ready. It's like, dude, you have no friggin' idea what is
Yeah.
going on in that person. And
Yes.
so you either do the quote work before you wake up or you do it after. Either
Yeah,
way,
it's happening.
you will do it because you have to, because stuff is just constantly shifting.
Yeah.
So the more we become quote love, the more we can see negativity, the more we experience it in ourselves, the more we experience control, the more we experience fear. And yet the deeper we go in, the deeper we know thyself, we're like, wait, that frequency feels weird. That can't be me.
Hmm.
Right? Like
Because
something in us knows more now. Like it can't really be described of what that feels like. Like we can say, okay, the attributes of the truth of who I am feels gentle, kind, expansive, inspired, empowered, simple, peaceful, calm, nurturing, full, sovereign, silence. Those are the quote attributes that we can compare. Wait, does this energy feel like that? Hell no, it does not.
hmm
Wait, that's not me. And so it's so wild. Like we as humans have never gone through this type of journey before, this shift in consciousness. Like it is, like when I watch somebody's system shifting like this, it's the gazillion subtleties in the person's body that is literally like, it's like all these lines of light that have held like 3D consciousness in there, and it's letting it go, it's releasing, it's doing major healing, major letting go of first chakra stuff, let's simply say survival stuff, egoic
Yeah.
consciousness, identity, a soul history, everything that's been in the person's system is consciousness, and it's literally waking up, reconciling, and letting go, and the love within itself is like activating and taking up space. That is happening 24/7. And so because this shift is happening, and again, it's for the rest of our lives, we're just going to keep going. Again, we
hopefully.
have to, right? We will. That's what I'm saying. Like, our minds can't track this, but energetically it's happening.
Hmm.
Like, period. Like, again, it's like, that's why I say
Is that
we have to be
why?
ready. Huh?
I was going to say, is that why certain things can start to feel like super noise. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah.
that's essentially why things seem noisier is because we're already trekking, we have been and already, and it's there.
Yeah. And it's noisier in a certain way. That noise has always been here,
Yes.
but now we're aware of it. And so it's
Ah.
louder. We're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
like if we're flowers and we go back to that metaphor and we've been rooted in 3D and we've done all our healing there and all our awakening there and everything that we've been going through, it's like we've been steeped in a certain vibration that we were like fully in it. So we didn't have
I
space yet,
gotcha.
right?
It's like
Now we're
being
having
nose blind.
space. Huh?
It's kind of like being nose blind. You're like
What's,
always at nose blind where you're like in an environment and you can't smell what it smells like
oh,
really. And then when you kind of awaken, you've outside of that, and then you come back to it, you're like, whoa,
mhm.
I've been in this.
Well, I want to recap
Yeah.
something that you
Hmm.
said, and you can correct me so that people can help navigate. But one of the things that I think you said is sometimes when you're mostly all of you, it's actually uncomfortable and unfamiliar
Mm,
because we've been so separated from ourselves and
Hmm.
involved in other people's energy for so long. It's kind of a dichotomy because the quantum entanglements is actually what causes us to get more into other people's energy. But then at the
Hmm.
same time, to get back home to who we are feels a little unfamiliar because we aren't
Hmm.
used to being here. It's like we want to
And
run back to the familiar.
yeah, and that's part of the fear. Like it's
Hmm.
known and we're like, "Oh, I know this. I don't know this." And because the shift is going on, like I'll just say a couple years ago, there was a part of us that could tune in and be like, "Oh, there I am."
Hmm.
It was like a denser experience of ourselves. And we kind of figured that out for a little while. And like you said, the unfamiliar to the part of us that's tuning in to it, because it's so much more awake and full now, like the truth in us is out more than ever. These petals that have been underneath that are keep blossoming is so unfamiliar mentally because we've not been, this awakening hasn't activated like this or come forward.
Hmm.
And so like I love the metaphor of the flower because as it blossoms and blossoms, these petals that have been way down there just keep coming, right? And they're unfamiliar mentally, but our being is like, is that right? So
ah,
Hmm.
it's like the other thing I see, like psychically too, is so the truth of who we are, our light inside, we keep becoming that, keep like becoming that. And so the part of us that used to tune into the light is becoming the light. And it
mhm.
can't, like, quote, separation, the little me that runs around thinking I'm creating my life, she keeps dying, right?
Hmm.
So I used to be able to, like years ago, she wasn't so dead yet. And so she could understand, oh, there I am. She'd look down, there I am. But she keeps like all our identity just keeps like dissipating and like let's just lack of a better word merging with the true self. So how we used to tune in is dying off,
Mm,
which of course it would because that's the quote separate identity tuning in. Let me
mm,
what does my intuition say, I wonder? What's true for me, I wonder? Well, you were dying off.
mhm.
And so this like experience of like, how do I even tune into myself right now? The part that even asks that question is dying off. And so like this deep kind of like letting go is constantly happening in a way we've not experienced before.
Mm.
So that's why knowing thyself, it's always on deck, but it's more
Mhm.
on deck than ever because how we used to know ourselves keeps dying 24/7. So it's always new and, quote, always unfamiliar. And yet once we kind of figure it out, let's say, in the moment, it's so familiar. Like it's like we have these glimpses, right? We go,
Mhm.
ah, and then ooh, we're out
Yep.
again, right? And
Yep.
that's normal. Like that's
Mhm.
normal. And we just keep going. And the other thing I want to say too about awakening that's kind of trippy is truly we are present. The true self is here. It doesn't have a separate me to be like, what do I do about my life? That doesn't happen there. It's this true, alive, living, breathing, always a lot like a verb. It's always action. Like it's always just living and being, and it's one with life itself, and it's always gathering information and then, lack of a better word, choosing to. It's like it's always like in partnering with life. It's interacting. It's reacting with life. Life interacts with it. It's just this constant kind of seamless movement without what do I do about me? It doesn't have that, right?
Mhm.
I lost my train of thought now.
Well, while it's coming
Uh,
back, I wanted to share a little something that might actually
mm-hmm.
trigger it forward. I was in a yoga class, and this was shortly after I had a leg injury. I tried to do the splits, and I
Oh,
wasn't
mm-hmm.
warmed up enough. And we were in a circle, and she went around it, and they were just like, "What do you want to get out of this class?" And I was like, "I want to feel more in my body, more grounded." And she just was like, "Why?" Because I know that you've got all this pain in your body, and I know that sometimes you get stressed out and you want to run from your body. Why do you want that so much? And it really hit me that, of course, we would run from our bodies because there is pain in emotional ways as well as physical ways and all these things. And it really came, okay, because that is my destiny, right? That is what
Mm,
will bring me more to consciousness, more to the light. And since then, I feel like I've always been following that. And I guess the bigger
mm,
question to you is, because I know that you know how to do this, is, and I don't want to ask it as a how, but what would be
mm.
some of the practices, some of the methods to continue to get us working on being more grounded, being more in our body, really being here so that we see each other even better?
And this might tie into a question that was on the chat. It says, Ambujam, can you give us tips on how to
Mm.
keep the ego mind in check so we can let things unfold on our path?
There's like one answer, and then there's lots of answers.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the one answer is keep bringing your focus back over and over
Mm.
and over and over to this true self that's
Awakening.
living. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's living. Well, the true self doesn't actually awaken. We do. Like the truth of us has always
Oh,
been there.
got
It
it. Like
I
comes,
was
that.
gonna, it's
Yeah.
already awakened. And so us as humans is awakening. Yes.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
like something wakes up to what's always been here,
Gotcha.
right? So this energy within us that has no separate self. It's just self, living, breathing, being. And we also, as that self, we're in an individual form and we have things to be, do here, right?
Mhm.
We have our own frequencies, our own uniqueness, our gifts, all the things. That's true too. We're not just this. It's like this is where things kind of get from a deep thing. There's the no self. There's that
Yes.
space, that awareness, right? The
That
witnesser,
oneness. Yeah.
yeah, oneness. And we are individuals came here for reasons to heal and be who we are and be in our uniqueness and express, be, right? So,
Yeah.
the one answer to that question, what is the practice? Keep bringing your focus back to the truth of you, 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 back to the truth of you. As you keep practicing that, as things constantly arise, like the ego mind, like that person asked, the truth of you is here and it's able to just let it be. It doesn't care. It's like, up, up, up. It's like everything just keeps moving. It doesn't care. It's in its totality. It's always a welcoming. Everything is always a yes. It's always a yes. Huh? Huh? Oh? Oh. Right? As an
I think
example.
more of them are like that. I can't believe that one was still in there.
Right?
Gross.
And like
Yeah.
when we practice that, like that keep coming back, and as these things arise, we get better and better at allowing them to arise. And what's fascinating in that moment is sometimes when something arises, we can just like, oh, because we've practiced coming back. It can actually move. Sometimes when something arises, it's so intense, or we're still so identified, or there's still something to heal in a certain way, let's say, it can't just move because we're so identified with it still,
Yeah.
right? And if we just keep coming back and coming back, well, what happens with that thing we're so identified with still, right?
Diana writes on the chat, she says, people tend to deflect the pain and sorrow that shows up that wants to be let go of instead of stuffed down and ignored. And I can relate with that.
Yeah,
Right. My
we
next,
all, yeah, that's our fear, right?
yes.
So that's the one answer. Stay. Keep coming back, keep coming back,
Mm-hmm.
keep coming back, keep coming back. Learn how you surf the wave of when things arise, right? That's the one answer.
Yeah. I have so much more though.
The
I'll
other
let you go.
answers are, let's say when you, quote, can't stay there, normal, okay? It's really understanding is not the right word because it's a direct experience that we have, but I'll just use the word understanding. It's understanding the frequencies of ego, programming, fear, power and control, manipulation. It's really learning and getting to know them. So when they do arise, you're quicker to go, wait, that's not me. Well, how do you know that's not you? Because you've spent time with you. So, like, so there's practices. The practice is really feel how you feel. And how do you feel? How does it make you feel? Do you feel empowered, sovereign, whole? Can't wait to dig in to be yourself again? Excited, joy? Or do you feel weird, sleepy, anxious, anxiety? These are all like the programming and the energies that make us, we don't feel good
Yeah.
pretty instantly, right? So, how something makes you, quote, makes you feel is your indicator. How do I actually feel with what I'm feeling? And you just keep learning. Like, ooh, interesting. That doesn't feel pure and clean and like a simple emotion. What is that, I wonder? So, you become a really good detective. And the only way to really do that is again, know thyself, right?
Yeah.
Know your
Well,
know
and
your energy.
I know that in your package and program we
Mm-hmm.
have that included because you are so good at teaching that. Do you think
So
oh, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I'm wondering if we could do a little bit of an embodiment or a grounding activations just so
Mm-hmm.
they could sample the frequency of this because you
Mm-hmm.
are really a master of it.
So I want to share something about what's in my package because this is part of the, well, there's a gazillion answers to the question of how do you What are some practices to root in yourself? So this was life-changing for me. What I'm sharing with you guys in my package is how to clear your energy. And I actually want to talk about this for a second because it's groundbreaking and for me and for others, and it's so dang empowering, and you learn so much about yourself. So when you're not just in yourself, hanging out with everything that's arising, you feel energy in your space. Okay? And then we have instant reactions. Clear it, get rid of it. We try all these things and it doesn't work. Or we just become very like anxious, right? So for me, and I'm going to simplify this, and I talk about this in the recording because this is how it all came. So when I first started doing my readings 30 years ago, every single time somebody would have a certain amount of grief, they'd leave my office and I would feel horrible. I'm like, ugh, why do I feel so gross? It took me, I don't even know, a couple years or a year or so to realize, oh, that's weird. How come when these people leave my office, I feel totally fine, but when these type of people leave my office that have had this very specific grief thing, I feel bad. I feel stuff in my space, like what's going on? And so I was being with it, and all of a sudden, something within me asked this question. Well, what is this grief sticking to, I wonder? And all of a sudden, all this childhood grief came up because I had a brother who died when I was 2.5 years old and he was 13 months. All this grief came up about my brother and I was like, what?
Wow.
And I had this huge healing with the grief with my brother. And after that, I didn't feel like that anymore when I would deal with somebody's grief. Totally gone. And I was like, aha. So the only reason something can stick to me in my field is because it's sticking to something in me.
Oh, interesting.
That
It's
is
an
either,
energetic.
yep, Velcro,
Yep.
But
right?
how would you have known at 2?
Yeah.
Say that again?
How would you have known at 2? Like, because this happened,
Exactly.
right? That's the
Right?
thing.
So all this
Yeah.
stuff sitting there that I have no idea
Yeah.
consciously.
Wow.
And so after that, that was my practice. Whenever I would feel energy that I'd feel weird or whatever, I'd be like, okay, how did this get in the first place? What is this sticking to? And then something would arise and I'd be like, whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's always this doorway to myself.
Mm.
And it's what's interesting. And so anyway, that teaching of how to do that and clear your energy and then allow your energy to come through and all that is in this package because I really wanted to add that process, the teaching in there. So what's interesting about this question, when you feel something in your space and you go, okay, how'd this get in? What is this sticking to? Where is my window open in my house? Right?
Yeah.
The leaves are blowing in, right? What I started to find super interesting is it wasn't always an unhealed emotion or issue. It was because, ooh, I'm really stepping into who I am right now and energy's coming in, don't want that. And having even that information made me feel like empowered. I'm like, yeah, I'm on my path, I'm doing my thing. What's next? I can feel it. Like, so it's so fascinating when you ask yourself the question, how'd this get in? What's it sticking to? What actually comes is fascinating because it's a gamut of 1,000 things, not just an issue. It's a spiritual thing. It's a soul thing with somebody. It's karma. It's childhood. Like it is endless. The answer, what it can be.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so with
I
that
love
said,
how
yeah,
you-
let's do some embodiment stuff.
Great.
Yes.
Let's do it. And you guys, I did share the package in the chat, by the way. We can talk about it later.
It's also on the live
Okay.
stream link as well.
Oh,
So-
yeah. That live page.
That's right.
Oh yeah, we created that. Isn't it funny? Like, oh, that's what you guys just reminded me now about what I wanted to say about awakening and how we're always present. So the truth of us is always present. It's always present. It's always present. It's always present. Everything's fresh. Everything's new. It's always now. And the emotional body, all the things don't feel present, right? They're holding memory. A simple example, okay? When we do healing on this path of awakening, because we're always present, even though what we just healed like an hour ago might have felt massive in the moment, we're like, doo doo doo. We just move on and we completely forgot. It's fascinating. And so the
Mm-hmm.
mind can be like, because we're just present now, the mind can go, I'm exactly the same as I was an hour ago. And it's like, yeah, but no,
Mm.
no. Healing is a fascinating thing on this path because when something does release, it does, but your presence just takes over and you're just that again. You're just that again. You're just so it's very fascinating. It's like a rock in the shoe sometimes. We're like walking, we're like, ow,
Yeah,
ow, ow, ow.
right.
Feels right. But when the rock's gone, like a few steps later, we completely forgot we even had a rock in our shoe.
Hmm.
And so
True.
healing on the path of awakening is like that. Is very
Yeah.
interesting. Um, and the other thing I just want to say too, for all of us, before we do this embodiment thing, is because of where we're at now about leaving 3D into 5D and all this embodiment, our path is no longer just about healing anymore. It's about healing and being who we are, 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 right?
Yep.
So the embodiment piece that we're going to do now, I'm going to tune in with everybody and we're going to do some anchoring and rooting in your roots.
Mm.
And this goes to your question, Jeneth, earlier before too, of like, well, what do I see people are quote need to work on to embody, right? So when we do healing together to have embodiment, there's healing is like happens in two ways, let's say. As I look at your system of like, okay, where in your next levels are you ready to more deeply energetically embody yourself? Let's anchor, let's nurture, let's really deepen that and help it integrate with the mind body, right? You either start coming in, and as you come in, issues will come up to heal and clear.
Hmm.
Or as you start coming in, the issues come up, quote, first to heal and clear to bring you in, right? And that's all of us. Like as we do our healing and our awakening, either we do healing from the inside out or the outside in. Either we have to heal trauma first because it's so intense we don't feel safe inside. And as we heal the trauma, we start to feel safe inside.
Hmm.
So that's from the outside in, or we just be who we are, be who we are, be who we are, and then that starts clearing the next layers and we do healing from the inside out, right? It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's
it's, I
always
get
like,
it.
well, what's needed in the moment? Is something needed to release first to help you guys come in? Or do we bring you in and then something heals and clears first? Clears as that's happening,
Yeah.
right? So I never know. I tune in and then you guys you're going to bring it.
All right.
um,
Well,
right,
just for the sake of time, uh,
let's do it.
let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, 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 okay. So as I tune into all you guys, there's this image of just purposely and slowly, continuously on like going forward on your journey, consciousness, evolution, growth, healing. Okay. What we're going to do right now is to clear out the old connections that go from your roots back to the old frequencies of, let's just say, 3D and realities and stuff like that. Okay. Because again, you're already doing that, but we're just going to help it happen faster. So we're going to clear out old roots and connections of how your system has connected to old realities so you can be more connections. Those connections can be filled with present day, now. And your super big bright light is safe. It's so safe. It's so safe. It's so safe. You don't need the thinking, planning mind to be safe. You need you. Yeah, and we got your teams. You got some archangels coming in to help the mind almost like let go of these little anchor points to the past to older consciousness, denser consciousness. Yep. And then we just come back down in. Okay. So we're clearing all kinds of things in the body, old energy in the first chakra, second chakra, lower body, the head, these little like subtle densities that your system is just ready to let go of so you can embody your higher light, your energies, and what's coming. So I'm going to really focus on that now. And the Lion's Gate this year has been very, very powerful, and we're still actually in that kind of opening. And so your bodies are very, they're digesting still what that Lion's Gate actually meant for you, what it means for you, and what it's opening. And so we're working with that too, your evolution. So your lower body is safe. That's your trunk of your tree, okay? Yep. And then your teams and angels are kind of, I don't have a word for this really, except download. It's like they're clearing out old consciousness that you don't need anymore and downloading what is for you. That's now and kind of up and coming. So your trunk is the place, is your home that you can receive all these energies in, right? Naturally, organically, effortlessly, smoothly, simply. Whew. And then your lower intestines are clearing, your navel is clearing. And again, we're just meeting you where you are in your path, on your journey of going forward and rising, you know. Clear the old. Make more space. Okay. Yep. So our initial kind of thing that we all just did is kind of completing now, and we're just kind of being in that, rooting in that, receiving, being. So what's interesting as we're working with all this, so there's two ways I can describe this. The ego really is what it is at the end of the day, but there are certain parts of you that feel and think and believe, I have to be running around and doing everything from an anxiety place, because if I don't, simplicity, I won't matter.
Yeah.
I need my trophies. I need to see how good I am. I healed all these things today, and I did it, and see. And so it's these old ways of being, these old energies again, is all they are, that you don't need. Like, really, that simplicity, that stillness is everything you need. And you can actually heal from there. So healing's different now. Yes, we still do our things, but what we're talking about is what can make you feel like you have to go in a very certain way, is this kind of anxiousness, this what's the word I'm looking for?
Hypervigilant?
Yes, thank you. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And just being simple and quiet and still, there's no way I can heal from there. Who's going to notice? Yeah, so we're just doing some more rooting, and then we'll complete this little mini session here. So the thyroid is coming up, throat area. Similar thing, okay? The throat, the consciousness in you in there can just be so full and simple and like effortless and peaceful, and like a river. It's just moving. The river knows what it's doing. It doesn't have to think about it. It just is it. It's flowing. It's going where it needs to go. So the thyroid area needs to be reminded you don't have to be hypervigilant, even even though your past life says you do, even though this life says you always have to be looking and making sure you're okay. Yep. But the truth of that fluidity will save the day.
Wow.
It'll always give you everything you need. You're safe. You can relax. You can just be a thyroid, right?
Hmm.
You don't need all the extra work. So that's just what's coming up now as we're kind of completing and everything to say that. And because the thyroid's an interesting thing. And I'm completing with all your
Mm-hmm.
teams and everything now. I've always seen the thyroid as like a seat of our power. And so when the thyroid is thriving and on, we have to want to be who we are. And we don't want to be who we are, and I'm simplifying it, we want to hide. The thyroid don't feel so good, right? Again, as within, so without. So when we want to be who we are, our thyroid wants to thrive. So as our thyroid starts to turn on, it can trigger, well, I don't want to be me, I'm scared. So it's just totally related. So the more you can be with, where am I afraid to be who I am? And just be gentle with yourself. Not to fix it, but for self-awareness. Fixing happens naturally, let's say. Then the thyroid starts to, like, it all works together. You can't have a body that's totally on when parts of you are like, no.
Yeah.
How does that work? You get one foot in the brake, one foot in the gas,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just, again, know thyself. Yep, I'm completing with all you guys now. Spirit's going to pull me out of your space. It's like we don't need all the bells and whistles, man. We just don't. Who cares? Just be free, be you, live your life.
Yeah.
Then if a bell and whistle comes from there, great. But it's not the thing. Who cares? At the end of the day, we want to be seen, received, loved, happy, healthy, thriving, and doing our thing. Right? We all want the same things, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things that came up during that made me think, well, what are some of those things that still trigger me? And it's like judgment from like within my immediate family is, it's like anybody else can judge me. And in fact, I was saying on one show recently, a couple years ago, I pretty much said, I'm just going to be as weird and loud and too much as I want, because that feels more like me than anything else, And if people judge it, well, then they can just kiss my ass, basically. But when it comes to my immediate family, I really am like, thou shalt judge me not. And then I'm just too much. And then I will really be even more judged.
Ambujam, we have about a little bit of time. We're getting close to time, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about your special offer that you brought
Yeah.
for us
And we'll do
today.
that right. And maybe we do it as we talk about this. But what are some of those things where you get, wound up and it's like you almost don't know how to be?
Yo,
And
I
maybe
just
we
want
talk
to,
about that while we talk about the package.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's actually kind of good.
when you were talking, if we take what you're saying and we all apply it, what you're talking about is where the family one is the nubbin. It's the root.
Yeah.
It's the deepest root. That's why it feels like that.
So it's just keep working on it, just keep
Yeah,
getting back to myself, just saying things.
let it unravel, let it keep going.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's like the deepest part. And then other people, it's not the deepest part. But
Right.
as you keep doing healing with the other people, let's simply say, you keep getting down to the nubbin anyway.
Got it.
right?
All right,
Um,
let's talk about this, like, because I twisted your arm to get a really delicious offer here. So let's talk about
so
this.
yeah, I so excited.
Yay.
So we're gonna do a live group power healing, my loves. I'm very excited about that.
Wow.
So when I was tuning in for this package, what I saw was September, basically the weekend that we're doing this, which is the live one, is September 13th at
Hmm.
2 p.m. Eastern. That weekend kicks off this whole shift in consciousness that September is bringing. It's a whole other level of high, I'll just say higher levels of consciousness, of energy, of quantum, of evolution. And so to receive these energies that much easier, the whole other part of this session that we're going to be doing, besides working with the September energies, is to root you in yourself, everything we're talking about today. So this is kind of like a two-part session that we'll be doing simultaneously. We're going to really deeply root you in who you are, and anything that is coming up around that, we're going to heal and clear and awaken and release and let go. And at the same point, as we're deepening and deepening, all your evolution of where you are on your path will be there and coming up, and the September energies are ready to drop in. And so the session is going to be a really full kind of like buffet of rooting you in yourself so you can receive your higher evolutions in the September energies. And then working specifically as we all come together as a group, you guys are going to bring all the specific details of where you are in your path, what you need for accelerated healing and embodiment. And what we can do together is we leap you forward in your consciousness and in your embodiment in ways that have normally would have taken lifetimes to attain, but we do it together in 2 seconds because you actually can. So it's this really sacred
Yes.
collaboration of we take what would have happened over time and we're able to actually create those embodiments and those shifts and those really foundational roots, rooting you in yourself in that moment. It's just what we can do together. It's just part of what I do. So we're doing that
Hmm.
live session September 13th. You can either come via proxy or you can join the live call, and there'll be a replay posted after that. And then my other two offerings here are I added a group power healing that we did, which is about rooting in yourself, and all the information is in there. And I also added my three series, my three MP3s of how to truly clear what's not your energy, of what we talked
Mm.
about today. And I walk you through that whole thing of how to clear, how to detect what's not you. It's like a guided healing meditation teaching, and then really rooting you in yourself. So the whole thing is about, at the end of the day, rooting you in yourself and giving you direct teachings and learnings of how to be you. So
Hmm.
that's what it is.
Julie, as a quote, she said, Ambujam is a powerhouse. She goes straight into the energy that needs to be shifted out. Highly recommend her incredible group power healing sessions to anyone because they speak truly to you. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. I can't,
They
I mean,
do.
yeah, they do. They really do.
Yeah.
And this is just a phenomenal package that you put together for us. Thank you so very much.
Hmm.
Yes. And on the other chat, Dana said clearing your energy is a game changer. So we know that this is the exactly what is being coming up for us to be cleared at this
And
time.
what, sorry, I just want to add too that
Sure.
what we're working with in the groups now, because it's there to be seen and we have the space now, is clearing this very interesting programming from the
Ah,
3D
Hmm.
world.
yes.
Like
Oh,
it's so dang specific
yeah.
that we have enough space in our systems now for the programming to let go and release. And how it works on us and what it sticks to is always very interesting.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's just part of what we work with now because everyone's ready to let it go. Because again, it's not a conscious safety, but we have to feel safe inside to be like, oh, I don't need this programming anymore. I've got me.
Mm.
I've got this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
a whole other piece of it all that we work with now.
Yeah. To be honest, of everything that we probably have on the series, like getting back to who you truly are and having practices around it, that is at the root of all of this. right? It's like you
Yeah.
can work on trauma, you can work on unworthiness, you can work on like all these categories.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you're not going to really have it unless you actually know how to get back to really, truly being yourself. Wouldn't you say,
Yep.
Bianca? Yeah. Yeah.
It
It's
keeps just
kind
coming back to that
Mhm.
over and over and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over.
Yes, it does.
And it feels so good inside when we are that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for
Oh my
having
gosh, this
me.
is
And
Thank you.
such an
it's so
incredible.
good to be with all of you all.
Gosh,
See
the just a
you.
couple comments for the chat. It's so totally awesome, Ambujam. Thank you. I wish I could pronounce your name. Symphony says, thank you all. Such a wonderful call. Beautiful light, Ambujam. This healing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This morning is wonderful. I just wanted to share some of those lovely messages with you
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can read some of those now.
Love,
Yeah,
love.
thank you
Yes.
guys so much.
Wow. Any
Such an honor.
final words for us today?
Yep. Think of yourself as a tree. Where are you?
Yeah.
Come in your roots. Nurture, 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 calm, peace. The nutrients in your system is your roots, right? Just so that's what, yeah. You're a tree. Be a tree. Be the roots, be the trunk, be the branches, be the leaves, but you need the roots to be all of you, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
As above, so below.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my loves.
All right. I'm going to stop this